Are you struggling with sales in your business? Are you not sure how to do sales in your business? You're the founder and sales is not your top skill. Well, this video is going to help you with that. I want to share 6 tips that are going to help you, the founder of your business, become a really strong and super salesman. My name is Dhiren. I'm the host of the Elevated Entrepreneur podcast and this YouTube channel where I talk to IT consultants and coaches. I help them add systems into their business and even show them how to package their creativity so they can create consistent, scalable income. If you'd like to see more of these videos, make sure you click subscribe. Let's get started with today's video and tip number 1. My first tip is making sure that you understand that you need to own the role. What do I mean by that? Well, here's the thing. Most of us as founders think of sales as being sleazy, as going out, foot on the ground, knocking on doors and getting customers and getting them to buy something from us. Well, that's not what sales really is. It's about us as founders realizing that we are our company's best salesmen and women. Nobody could sell like us. And it's not about being sleazy. It's about finding the need of that customer and recommending a solution you may have in your business. The other reason why you as the founder need to own the role of a salesperson is because your team looks up to you for advice and guidance on how to do that role well. I learned sales over the last 3 years in my journey as a founder at Cloudscape. It was really hard, but I've understood that I need to make sure I understand the intricacies of what a sales process actually looks like so that I can help my team grow and in turn help revenue grow. So remember, owning the role is a really important part of becoming a better salesperson. The second tip that I want to give you, don't pretend to be something you're not. And I know this sounds simple and it sounds obvious, but as a founder, there are so many times when people like you and I want to appear bigger than we really are. In the early days of Cloudscape, I used to tell customers we had a big team and we had 2 locations, and you know what? That actually ended up creating a lot more problems than getting me business, because appearances are hard to keep up. And yet a lot of founders make the same mistake. I tell all of my clients that we are a small team now and we love to see their business and we can guarantee something that the bigger players cannot. So remember, be authentic, be you, and let the customer see the person behind the brand. The third tip on how to become a better salesperson is learning to overcome fear of rejection. How many of us as founders and head of sales leave the room or hang up on the conversation when the customer has said no? It's very typical. In fact, it's an innate human ability to just leave the conversation when someone says no. I believe that the no is the starting of the conversation. Once the no is out in the open, there's nowhere else to go. From here on, it's all about working towards that yes. And better yet, I know now why the customer doesn't want to buy from me, so I can work on creating rebuttals for all of the objections that this customer is now thinking about. Could be price, could be value proposition, could be many things. But hey, once we know what it is, it's easy to tackle. I actually find customers who say, we'll get back to you later, or we're not sure yet, the more challenging ones, the ones that say no, are the best ones to work with, because now that I know what the no is about, I'm able to address those objections and make them move towards yes. And there's no fear in the word no. So remember, overcome the fear of rejection and the ability to hear no's more often. I'm going to link a great TEDx talk about this gentleman who ran a 100-day experiment on the ability to listen to no. It's a beautiful video. I can't recommend it enough. I'll link it down below so you can watch it as well. The next tip is about knowing your customer's pain. Again, I see a lot of founders and salespeople walking into a conversation all ready to sell a product and service that they've got without really fully understanding what the customer's pain points are. Now, you may know what the customer needs, but that doesn't mean that you know the pain points. My point here is that us as founders and salespeople really need to dig deeper into a conversation, ask open-ended questions that allow us to grasp onto what the customer's pain really is. And typically, the pain and the need are 2 very different things. So the next time you're in a sales conversation, keep a ear out for what the customer is really saying and what is the real pain point, because then it's very easy for you and your sales team to go in and close the deal, because now you've really understood the pain point and you're able to articulate why your product or service solves that pain and how it solves that pain. The last tip that I've got for you is a really good one. It's referring your competition. Yes, you heard me right. When you are able to refer your competition to your customer, that gets your customer to think about how good you really are at what you do and how you're able to do that so confidently. I cannot tell you how often I use this trick, and it works wonders, because then the prospective customer comes back to me and says, you know what, Dhiren, we'd like to work with you because we've never heard anybody else refer their competition. Now, I'm not saying that you should refer your competition in every conversation, but if you haven't been able to understand the need, if your product or service doesn't really fit the need, or if there is a conversation about price, this is a great way out for you, because you don't want to say yes to everything and everybody. So a great way out of that conversation is, hey, I have a competitor who would do this for much cheaper. Why don't you give them a call? And believe me, every time that I say that, the customer looks back at me and says, I'd like to do business with you. So next time you're in a sales conversation that you don't feel is going well, if you're not able to articulate why your product and service is a good fit, you might want to try referring your competition. So that's 6 tips on how you as a founder can become a better salesperson in your company.